Welcome. I'm Dr. Cheryl Yatsko. I'm a psychologist at the Counseling Center at Columbus State University. And this is one of a series of workshops that we're doing on taking care of yourself emotionally. We call the series Welcome to Humanity because the things that get in people's way emotionally are very, very common. And the name of this particular presentation is Decreasing Anxiety, What You Can Control and What You Can't. I'm not particularly religious myself, but there is a prayer that lots of people know that is extremely useful when it comes to dealing with anxiety. You may have heard of it. It's called the Serenity Prayer for a reason. And if you're religious, you can say, may God grant me. If you aren't religious, you can say, may the universe grant me, or may my life grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I've been a psychologist for 25 years now, and the longer I do this, the more I see that anxiety is very frequently about avoiding things that scare you, so avoiding things that you might actually be able to control, and spending a lot of brain space trying to figure out how to control the uncontrollable. So if we take a situation that might make you anxious, how about math? Math scares a lot of people. If math makes you anxious, does avoiding doing math make you less anxious or more anxious? Of course, the answer is both. If math is something that makes you anxious, even thinking about your math homework can make you panicky. Maybe your heart races, you feel like you can't get your breath, or your breath gets short and you just feel miserable. In the short run, avoiding doing your math by vanishing down the YouTubes or Instagram or video games feels so much better. Right? So anytime you think, oh, I should do my homework, you get all panicky and your heart starts to race and your breath gets short and you're miserable. So then you think, oh, well, I'll just go on Instagram for a little while, or I'll just play a video game or two to relax. And immediately, as soon as you avoid the thing that scares you, you feel so much better. That relief that you get when you avoid the thing that scares you acts like heroin. The cycle is addictive. The more you avoid the things that scare you, the scarier they get. One homework assignment can turn into a giant hairy monster. I've seen people fail out of school because they didn't do the homework assignment on time, because they were afraid they weren't going to do it perfectly. So they avoided it, and then it was late, and then they were afraid the professor would judge them for turning it in late, so they avoided it some more. And then they were really afraid the professor was judging them, so they skipped class. And now they're really afraid the professor's judging them, so they stopped going to class altogether, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Do you see how avoidance might feel like your friend in the short run, but it's really not your friend in the long run? So one way to work on anxiety is by practicing facing the things that scare you, but in baby steps. If math scares you, start by making yourself read one page of the chapter or try working one homework problem. If you have social anxiety, you don't have to go to a bar to practice. Start by walking in the library and walking back out again. While you do this, talk kindly and calmly to yourself. You can make yourself feel much worse if you're yelling at yourself and calling yourself names for being scared. The more you yell at yourself for your fear, the more miserable and afraid and avoidant you be. So think of a situation that scares you. Telling your roommate it's his turn to do the dishes. Driving for some people. Telling your parents you're gay. Whatever it is that scares you. Then think of a baby step in this direction. Reading one page of the math homework. Saying good morning to your grumpy roommate. Driving in a parking lot. Talking to your parents about somebody else who's gay. Okay, baby steps, right? Then we're going to learn how to breathe. At the chemical level in your body, slow, deep breathing is the opposite of the adrenaline rush of fear. This is a good thing to practice when you're trying to fall asleep at night. I'm going to ask you to put your hand kind of low down on your belly. You can see where my hand is. And as you're practicing breathing, you should feel a little balloon under your hand going up and down, just a little bit. That's your diaphragm. If you can feel that, that's how you know you're breathing deeply enough. And I'm going to ask you to breathe in and breathe out as slow as my hand, and that's how you know you're going slowly enough. You ready? One hand on your belly. Does that feel a little bit different? Maybe a little bit calmer? You probably weren't able to go as slow as my hand, but I want you to know what you're aiming for. So again, this is something to practice when you're trying to fall asleep at night. Deep is good, slow is better. And I want you to try to do the same breathing while you think about the baby step. So imagine yourself reading one page of the homework or driving in the parking lot or talking to your parents about somebody else who's gay. Think of your own baby step or your thing that scares you. Feel your heart rate go up. Yes, it's uncomfortable. You're going to do it anyway, while being kind to yourself. Breathing slowly and deeply. It's okay to be scared. It's human to be anxious. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to a friend or maybe a puppy that's afraid. So, thinking about the things that scare you in slow baby steps, while being kind to yourself, talking calmly to yourself, and breathing slowly. Yelling at yourself, calling yourself names makes it all worse. Running away from the monster while calling yourself a coward makes the anxiety get stronger and stronger. Facing your fears while being kind to yourself makes them doable. You turn around and look the monster in the face, it shrinks. So that's about one half of the serenity prayer. That's about trying to control the things that you do have power over. Let's go back to the other part of the serenity prayer, accepting the things I cannot change. Are you someone who worries about things you can't control? Tornadoes, math professors, other people? The last one is a biggie. We spend a lot of brain space on this. Everything from how can I make my best friend break up with that jerk, to how can I make my ex want me back, to how can I make my father stop drinking, to how can I make my mother's cancer go away. How much brain space are you spending to try to figure out how to get other people to act right? As a psychologist, it's actually my job to try to get people to do stuff that's good for them. But I have to keep reminding myself of what I have control over and what I don't. Feel free to steal my mantra. I can't take responsibility for what I can't control. Say that over and over to yourself. I can't take responsibility for what I can't control. Use this whenever you find yourself struggling to figure out how to control things you can't, that you don't have power over. Then turn your attention back to what can control, even if it scares you. So anytime you're feeling anxious about a situation, think about how you can use the serenity prayer. First, how can I be kind to myself? What piece of the situation can I control? Is there a baby step I can take now? Can I turn around and face the monster? And which pieces do I need to let go of because I don't have the power to fix them? I'm going to try to share my screen with you for a summary. Okay. Maybe this is something you want to take a picture of, if this could be helpful for you. May God or the universe grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Talk to yourself with the same compassion you would use with a friend. Telling yourself that you're an idiot for being scared makes you more scared, not less. Is there a piece of this situation that you can control? Is there a baby step you can take? Remember that avoidance feels like your friend in the short run, but it can make small problems go into big scary monsters. Try your breathing. Deep is good, slow is better. Breathe slowly and deeply while you imagine yourself doing the things that scare you, baby step by baby step. Which pieces of the situation do I not have power over? I can allow myself to be sad about things I cannot change, but I can't take responsibility for what I can't control. So repeat that mantra. I can't take responsibility for what I can't control. Then turn your attention back to things that you can control, even if they scare you. And always, through all of this, be kind to yourself, be kind to yourself, be kind to yourself. Thank you for your time and attention.